Well, welcome to Presto Paul TV. I'm your host, Presto Paul, and on this channel I teach you the best tricks, tips, and techniques on how to do magic for beginners. Today's trick is pretty darn cool. I wasn't sure I was going to do this, but I figured, well, this is perfect for Halloween, especially in the year 2022. I wanted to share this with you. This is called the Haunted Bill effect. You're going to love this one. Let's not waste any time. We're going to get right into the magic, and we're going to have fun, because when we have fun, we live longer. Let's check it out right now. All right, a little bit of arts and craft we have to do today to make this haunted bill effect. Some things you're going to need is a bill. It could be a 1, 5, 10, 20, whatever you want it to make it be. Try to find the newest bill that you can find that's crisp. It'll make the effect look a whole lot better. You're also going to need some scissors. You're going to need invisible tape. You will also need some fishing line. This is monofilament 2 to 4 pound test fishing line. We'll get into that in just a second. That's going to be the device that makes all the magic happen. If you don't have that, I have some black thread here that I'm going to do to demonstrate how to make this, to make it more visible, because it's hard to see the monofilament, obviously. And you're also going to need a safety pin and a pencil. So gather those items and let's go to my point of view, and I'm going to show you how to construct this, how it works, and how to do all the finesse to make the trick look really cool and haunted for Halloween. Okay, so here's what it's going to look like when you have the monofilament in. I put a little bit of a thicker piece of string in here so you can see what's going to happen. In a moment, we're going to do a folding process to get this set up for these monofilament string to go through there and do all the work for you here. So let me show you what it looks like if you were to do the trick with monofilament, but you can see how it's going to work with this, and then we'll get into the construction here in a second. So the monofilament will be hanging out of the back here. You're going to put it between your middle finger and ring finger. Do your best Vulcan. You're going to lay it on your hand like this. Now the string in this case, which will be the monofilament, is underneath my hand right there, going between those middle 2 fingers. And this is going to be underneath my arm and attached with a safety pin to my belt, which I will show you here in a few minutes. But when you move your hand forward and this is attached to your belt, this is what's going to happen. The string is going to pull it through. And when you have it right here, you're going to move your hip backwards and your hand slightly forward. So that's going to pull it off to the side. And then there's one more piece of string, which will be monofilament, that will pull it to here. This all happens as you go forward, and I will show you that in more detail with the monofilament. And I'll get into the more advanced handling of shuttling this off so you can show an examinable bill at the end. But you don't have to do that at all. You can just end here and put this in your pocket. So let's do this with the monofilament so you can see how this works. All right, so this is what it's going to look like when you do this. You're going to have the string or the monofilament all through there. This will come out and it'll attach to a safety clip, which will be on the side. I'm just going to use it loose like this so you can see for what I'm doing. So again, underneath, you're going to put it between your middle and ring finger like that. It's going to lay on your hand flat at the base of your fingers. This will be attached over here on the side. And I'm going to show this to you with the real bill and the monofilament in just a second. And when you move your arm forward, it's going to make that bill fold with the string. And then you can move your hip backward just a little bit. This is tough with the string in there. And you just pull again and you push forward and it moves it up just like that. And then you have it right there for everybody to see, and you can put it in your pocket for the easy version. I'm going to show you the advanced version here in just a second. All right, so here's how you're going to construct your haunted bill. You will be using a needle and monofilament, which you cannot barely see on the screen here, which is the whole purpose of using this monofilament. but I'm going to show you how to build this with a little bit of a thicker piece of thread here, a little bit of yarn, so you can see how this works. So grab your crisp dollar bill or whatever denomination. You're going to take it from the left side and fold it in half like a book. You want to make this crease very good and strong. You're going to take the bottom half and fold it towards the top, same thing. Make the crease nice and strong, and then from left to right like a book again. And you make that crease nice and strong. Now, when you open this up the opposite direction than a book, so the bottom half comes out towards your left, you'll see the one by your left thumb. You're going to look above the O, and there is a little tiny bubble thing right there that comes off this design off the top of the pyramid that's on the left side of the bill. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your needle, be very careful with the needle, do not stab yourself please, and you're going to place that right in that circle there and push it through the other side of this. So not through all four corners, this is folded out to your left. You find that little circle right there, it's right above the big O, so you know you're in the right space, and you poke it through that little hole, or you poke a hole through that spot right there, just like this. And I'll pull it through like that. There you go. And now the needle can come off. You don't need the needle anymore at this point, so get rid of that to be safe. So you have the string going through that spot where the O is, and it's coming out the other side right here. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to be taping the excess that you have back here in a moment across here at a certain point, and I'm going to show you exactly where that point is. Let me bring up some of this slack. So you want to have, you can have a little bit hanging over and trim this end here in a second if you need to, but I'll try to do it as close as I can. But you want to make sure you know exactly where you're going to tape this other end, and it's going to be over here. So if you take the end that has the string in it and you fold it in half, where that string comes out, which is going to be right at that point right there, it's usually right at the edge of the $1 bill symbol there, upside down. I've placed a black dot there with Sharpie so you can see exactly where that is. So that's basically where that string would come out. You're going to take a small piece of tape. Let me get this over here just a little bit so it's not hanging over. If it hang over on the side with the monofilament, just trim it. You're going to take your piece of tape now, just a little piece like this, and you're going to tape that down right by the dot that you made, so you have a straight line now right across just like that. So when you unfold this bill, what you're going to see is what the monofilament will look like that you can't really see very well. You're going to have two strings going through here. On the other side, it's going straight up here and straight across to where you taped it right there, and the rest of the monofilament, will be hanging down. You're going to do your best Vulcan when you do the trick, and you're going to put that in between your fingers right there, and you're going to basically lay the crease of the bill right across the base of your fingers. The rest of this is going to be attached to the end with a safety pin to your belt loop, which I'll show you here when I stand up in a minute. But basically what's going to happen is this part will be hidden underneath this arm. I'm going to switch my arms here behind the camera tripod. And what's going to happen is this is here, but you're going to be moving your hand forward, and it's going to get the tension of the safety pin. And if you watch closely, you'll see those strings start to contract, and it pulls it forward. Now, as you're moving your hand forward, it's going to tilt it from your right to left. And you can also drop your left hip back a little bit, and it'll start to make it turn over like this. And then a little farther, this last part, it'll pull it over just like that. And when you have all the tension on, it'll sit right there. And I'll explain in a little bit the more advanced maneuver to show a bill completely at the end. But for now, you could finish right there by lifting up the bill and just putting it in your pocket. Okay, so this is how you do this with the monofilament already pre-attached to it, just like I showed you in the tutorial. There's 2 strings right here. You might not be able to see it, but you might catch it in this light because it's very bright in the studio. Now, if you want to do the advanced handling of this, you're going to need a duplicate bill, fold it up just like you did the regular bill, and have it in a thumb palm. That's just squeezing it between the thumb and the pad of your index finger. You can gesture really naturally with this, which makes this really nice. And I'll show you the switch here in a second. So you just wiggle your fingers and you just move your hand forward very slightly and the bill will start to move mysteriously. You can move your hip back a little bit as it folds over again. And once again, all this is happening as you're moving it forward. You will get this as you practice it. You could push this up for a second, but then to do the advanced version, you're going to do the easiest, what's called a shuttle pass, which is pretending to throw this one to this hand, but you have the extra one. So it's all in the timing. You have the tension here, so it's going to keep the bill right there between your fingers, and you're going to just turn your hand over and open up this hand, drop that on the floor, on the table. This is still here. It's attached, so it's not going to go anywhere. You can turn to your left, put it in your back pocket, hand this out for somebody to open it up and see that there's nothing attached to the bill whatsoever, and you have a really, really strong haunted bill effect. I hope you enjoy this one. Well, there you go with the haunted bill effect. I hope you put the time in. Prepare this, practice it in front of a mirror for just a few minutes. You'll see how easy it is to perform once you put it all together. It'll take a little time putting it together, but that's okay. Good magic sometimes takes a little bit of work. Hey, I want you to practice this, show it to your friends. I'd love to hear your comments down below, how your friend responded to this particular effect. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so right now. Give me a big thumbs up. And I will see you on the next episode. Until then, I'm your host, Presto Paul, and remember, you gotta have fun. You'll live longer.